Hello and welcome back. This is Lance Dixon of Curriculum and Training Systems, here to share with you more information about foundational principles of learning. Now, if you notice, our scenery has changed just a little bit because for the next few sessions, we're going to be coming to you from my office in lovely Las Vegas. Now, last week, we spoke to you about the last three categories of Bloom's taxonomy. Analysis. Analysis is when you take something apart and look at and explore the individual pieces so that you'll have an understanding of how it works, what it's describing, whether you're dealing with something concrete like an automobile engine or maybe something more theoretical. Then there's synthesis. Now, synthesis is a little bit opposite of analysis. Not quite opposite, but just a little bit. Synthesis is when you take different components and put them together to see what becomes with that combination. A good example of synthesis is when you're dealing with maybe a chemist. A chemist will have a variety of different chemicals, and by combining different chemicals, he's learning what will be the result of that combination. And then the last aspect is evaluation. Now, evaluation comes when you take everything that you have, all the information that you've gathered throughout all the categories of Bloom, knowledge, comprehension, and so forth. And based on all of that information, you make a decision. You make a judgment call. You evaluate what you have. Those are the final three categories of Bloom's taxonomy. Now this week, we are going to speak to you about another one of the theories from our founding fathers of foundational principles of learning, and his name is David Kolb. And David Kolb is known specifically for development of learning styles. Now, his theories can be a little complicated. So we're going to just cover the very, very basics. And by doing that, we're going to start off with 4 basic learning styles from David Kolb's theory. Now, the first one is concrete, a concrete learner. All right. For a concrete learner, they have to be involved in the learning. They learn best when they get involved. Example would be a concrete learner don't want to read the instructions on how to put a bike together. He's just going to break into it and start putting it together. Basically, he's going to try, and maybe if there's imitation involved or someone that does it, he's going to watch them and imitate them and be hands-on in his learning. Some of the best ways that appeal to a concrete learner is maybe role playing or simulation, something that's going to get them involved. Now, the next learning style is the active learner. The active learner learns best by becoming involved in the process. A step-by-step guide or step-by-step instruction where they can actually become involved, very similar to the concrete learner. But some of the aspects of an active learner and some of the ways that appeal to their learning style best is like small group discussions, having those conversations, talking, sharing knowledge, structured exercises, group exercises, doing something together, problem-solving approaches. All of these things are best for the active learner. Now, the next learning style of Kolb's theory is the abstract learner. The abstract learner has a theory-based analytical approach to learning. This is the person who reads the book, tries to digest the theory, try to understand what he's reading. He's an abstract learner. He thinks about things, solitary thinking. He wants to know what the theory is behind the subject matter. These are the things that appeal to the abstract learner. And finally, the fourth learning style is the reflective learner. The reflective learner, they like to observe. They want to see things before they make a decision. They're going to observe, compare, contrast. Things that work best for a reflective learner, maybe lectures, hearing the information, thinking about it, digesting it, going over it, reflecting upon it. They're not going to make, on-the-spot quick decisions. They want to really digest what they get. They also prefer being an impartial observer, just not even being involved, but just kind of watching how everything comes about, and based on that observation, they gather knowledge, they learn. Now, these are different learning styles. Now, individuals do not have singular learning styles. All of us have some degree of all of those different learning styles. Now, the theory is that when you combine learning styles, you retain more. If you combine two learning styles, you retain a little bit more. If you combine three learning styles, you retain a lot more. If you combine all four, so basically you employ all four, even though you might have a primary learning style, you can still use these other styles. I may prefer to be a reflective learner, but by being active, being concrete, I can also gather and retain more information. Well, that's all I have for this week. If anything we said was valuable or informative in any way, please share the video with anybody that you feel will be a benefit to it. On the bottom of the screen, you'll see links to curriculum and training systems, some of the services we provide, and some of the products we offer. Thank you, and we'll see you again next week.